Hey guys, thanks for joining the Wild Tracks Outdoors. Doing some last minute prep work on some arrows, trying to get them fletched for the season. Our season here in Oklahoma actually opens tomorrow, October 1st. So running a little behind, but it's alright. It's better late than never. Just wanted to come on and do a little video here to just show you a little technique that I use. I'm sure that's been around for a while because obviously I've seen it done a while, and then going through a lot of arrow building seminars and everything that they've shown me, you know, the little tips that I've learned from other people. A lot of the mistakes I made in the past, I shouldn't even say it's a mistake, it's good glue contact. So I'm using G-Lock blue glue. To me it's my personal favorite, hands down by far. To me anyways, it's perfect. Have had no issues in hot temperatures or cold temperatures. But one of the tips I wanted to talk about is, like, when I'm putting my glue on my fletching, I don't just, you know, come all the way across. I used to, you know, in my younger years, and then all these building seminars, you know, it's a waste of a lot of glue. You put it on there, even if you try to do it with minute bead, and you put the little press down pressure on your arrow shaft. You have that glue that comes out that you got to clean up, so you don't have a dirty arrow and you don't have an off-weighted arrow, you know, with the glue off the side of a vein or the other side. So you have to do the arrow, you know, the glue cleanup. What I've done and learned over the years is I just do 5 dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Once doing so, then I can put it on there, and when I press down, it'll smear clearly, or, you know, spread clearly through the vein bottom. And then there is still a little bit of glue cleanup, not as much as if you went through the whole thing. So that's one of the tips that I wanted to share. And the other one is, I picked this up, it's been a couple years ago, and I always thought it was neat, and I've never really shared it or anything. It's just something I've always done, but I was asked about it this year. I run 3 of the same color fletchings. And the reason being is what you can call knock-tune your arrow. If you have one arrow that flies just a little off of the group, you can actually spin the arrow, you know, that knock on the back of the arrow to the next vein, and it doesn't, you know, change your, what we call the cock feather. You don't have, you know, say 2 green and a white, and every arrow you're shooting is 2 greens, 1 white up, and then, you know, for whatever reason, cosmetically, you know, now you have a green and a white down and a green up. You know, again, that's all appearance. It's not like it affects anything, but it's just an aesthetic thing that I just chose to do. So in order to be able to knock tune these arrows, and like I said, not make it change, or when I go to that hunting arrow or whatnot and I grab it and see that white vein down, I'm like, oh, I need to spin my knock. So, you know, you turn around and spin it to normal, and then say you miss a shot because you forgot that you knock tune that arrow. So I'm gonna glue this on real quick. Like I said, this stuff dries pretty quick, but just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Try to make it very evenly, and then, like I said, I make sure I've already made sure it was lined up with the other vein. And I set it on there, and then I give it a little bit of press, and I hold for about 5 to 7 seconds. I let off and pull the jig off, and then I spin it. And I look for any glue that may be sticking over to offset the weight of the arrow a little bit. A lot of people say that it doesn't matter. I'm one that any weight matters, so I try to make it as even as possible all the way around the arrow. Again, like I said, and then like on my jig personally to help me, like I said, I got a long line, a short line, and then I've got an X on this line. And again, so when I fletch arrows, my X is for crossbow bolts, my short line is for my blazer veins, and then when I run the 3 or 4 inch veins, I scoot it back a notch just to get it back towards the back of the arrow again. And even though I'm going further forward, it helps. I've noticed it's helped with the flight of the arrow as well. So again, I take it, put it on, I verify that front and back match. Let me me zoom in here for you. Whoa, sorry about that. I'm looking right here and making sure the front and the back match. And if they match, I know I am 100% on. So then I pull it off. And the same thing goes. So I'm trying to... Let me zoom this back out again, sorry. And then the same thing, you know, applies again, the 5 dots. I'm trying as hard as I can not to put a lot of glue in those dots, just enough to get it to know it'll spread through. Press it, hold for 5 to 7 seconds. That off. Then I pull, and then I just verify that everything looks down tight and where it's supposed to be. That arrow's done. The one thing that I've also done over the years, and it's been something I've been told for many, many years, I'm a firm believer in broadhead alignment. So to me, fixed blades are kind of those in-betweens. They shoot a lot like field tips, so no, I don't do a broadhead alignment on those. But the reason why I'm doing these tonight is getting them aligned to one of the blades of the broadhead, which is what I call broadhead alignment. So if I shoot a 2-blade, which I do, I'm shooting Magnus Stinger buzz cuts. So what I'm doing is lining one of the vanes up with the broadhead on the downside of the arrow. And my personal belief is it helps with arrow flight at longer distances. As the blades are cutting, it's also cutting at the same time, so they're not trying to fight each other and playing different times. This is even more true in my opinion, again my opinion, of 3 blades. Like 3 blades, if you know you're going to shoot them, me personally, I like when I shot Muzzy 3-blade broadheads, I always built my own arrows. And when I say built them, as in fletched them, because I'd always screw the arrow in, or the broadhead in the arrow, and then I would fletch the arrow so that they matched up exactly as much as 100% as I could. And I always had great performance with them. 4-blade broadheads, I do the same thing, and when I have customers in here, I try to tell them that when I line it up, I'm always picking one vane. And the theory, like I said, behind it is it's cutting the wind. The vanes are cutting the same wind at the same time, and they're not trying to equalize air going through. Hopefully, in theory, like I said, they're spinning the same thing, cutting the same air at the same time. Again, this is my opinion, my belief, and what I've found that works best for me. I've been through a bunch of seminars, and there's a lot of different theories out there, a lot of different things, and there's a lot of great things out there. There's a lot of things that go into arrow building. FOCs, I mean, placement of your nocks, your spine of the arrow compared to the grain of your tip. The other thing is, I tell everybody, if you're shooting a 100 grain field tip, be shooting a 100 grain broadhead. Don't change anything up. Don't be going, oh, I want to shoot a 100 grain field tip because I'm practicing and it doesn't matter, and then go and get a 150 grain broadhead and shoot it, because they're definitely not going to fly the same, and it even changes the spine of your arrow. So again, I just wanted to jump on here and show my little bit of tips. Sorry that it's late and thinking of all this stuff. It's just things that have been on my mind, and some questions I've had over the last couple days, I'd say month even, from close friends. And so I figured I'd post this video and show everybody my tips. That way, if they wanted to do it themselves, they can have this to kind of reference and just see what tips I am providing that I can. Again, like this video, subscribe to this video. We got more great stuff coming. I hope this season, I feel like it's going to be a good season. So be watching us and stay tuned for the next one. God bless all your adventures.